potentially leave enough time for the Saints to get it back, but now the Patriots threatening. May takes a shot down the field. It's Booty. Touchdown.
Our play style, I thought our guys played fast. They played physical. At the end of the day, we didn't take advantage of opportunities that were presented to us. And every game's going to have those opportunities, and you got to take advantage of them. And so, they won the turnover ratio. They won some of the situational stuff, and that's how this game was decided. And we didn't make enough plays, and got to find a way for myself to coach better, to put ourselves in better situations, to be more successful as a football team, because there's too much good and not enough in those little margins. And so, medically, I think we're okay. Nothing really drastic came out of the game, and so we just got to get better and keep moving.
Saints fall to the New England Patriots 25-19. They fall to 1-5 on the season. Another game in the Dome where New Orleans had opportunities. It was a competitive game, but as we all know, the margin of victory in the NFL, the margin for error is so slim that you can't let opportunities pass you by. And I'll tell you, the Saints remain competitive, but there are two things that are killing this team right now and preventing them from winning games. It's your defensive struggles early in games, and it is your complete and utter lack of playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, and that is killing this team. I want to be very clear. You are not losing games right now because of Spencer Rattler. I don't know that there is a large contingent of people arguing that you are, but Spencer Rattler isn't the reason you're losing. On Sunday, he was 20 of 26 for 227. He had a quarterback rating of 102.6. His PFF grade was a 93.2. That's the highest by any Saints player in any game this year who's played at least 15 snaps. He is playing efficient. He is protecting the football, and he is giving your playmakers opportunities to make plays. They are not obliging. And that is your biggest problem right now. I could hear an argument that Spencer Rattler isn't elevating the team. Okay, I could hear that. So as to say, if you were to take Patrick Mahomes and put him on this team, how much better is the offense? I don't know the answer to that. Or Josh Allen. Maybe you win a couple of the games that you've lost. I don't know. That could certainly be up for debate. I certainly think about years with Drew Brees, those back-to-back-to-back 7 and 9 seasons where your defense was really bad and you just had a void of playmakers. Well, you were 7 and 9 because you had a Hall of Fame quarterback who elevated you far beyond the win total that team should have had. Maybe Rattler isn't that guy that's going to elevate you right now, but he ain't the reason you're losing. No doubt. The reason you're losing primarily on offense, the reason that when I look at New Orleans and they're 25th in the NFL, 28th in the NFL, when I look at New Orleans and they're 28th in the NFL at 18 points per game, the reason is because you ain't got playmakers. The reason is because guys like Chris Olave, who you took in round 1, who fancy themselves as a number 1 wide receiver and a playmaker, can't make a freaking play. Oh, he's wide open, he'll catch it. Have him make a contested catch? Nope. There were 4 instances in this game where Chris Olave gagged. In the second quarter, this play right here. Chris Olave down the right sideline. Rattler drops it in a bucket. Olave lets it go off his hands. They go show the replay, and the defensive back grazes Olave's bicep, causing the incompletion. Forgive me, I watched Odell Beckham catch a ball with 3 friggin' fingers with a defender all over it. You could tell me a defender grazing your bicep is cause not to make this catch? Kick rocks. Third quarter, 3rd and 17. Rattler evades a rush, throws the ball down the left sideline. Olave goes up, has it in his hands, comes down, can't hold on to it. Actually should have been a fumble. Make the catch. Later in the third quarter, Olave had a drop. In the fourth quarter, when you're trying to go down and potentially score a game-tying touchdown, Rattler evades the rush. Difficult play with pressure bearing down on him. Rattler evades the rush, throws one over the middle. It's high because he's off balance. Olave goes up, gets his hands on it, can't haul it in. Make a play. You want a contrast? Look at what Kayshon Boutte did on his 2 touchdowns. The first one, he's got Quincy Riley all over him. They're like fighting to pull the ball away from him going down to the ground. Touchdown. Later, he fights through contact to make the catch and gets into the end zone. Make a play. I'm watching the Niners against the Bucks, and I watch Baker Mayfield throw a ball down the middle of the field, and Tej Johnson like extends and grabs a ball by the nose, the back nose of the football with his fingertips and brings it back into himself. Make a play. I wouldn't be this hard on Chris Olave if he was an undrafted rookie free agent. If this was Mason Tipton, I'd be like, all right, that's why you were a UDFA. Chris Olave was a first-round pick. You picked up the fifth-year option. You expect him to be a number one. He ain't a number one. He don't get open. He don't catch the ball. He doesn't make contested catches. He is a mid-NFL receiver. He's a guy that should be on a roster who will catch the ball and get open and make some plays for you, but he is not going to make the jaw-dropping plays that elevate an offense. And let's talk about Juwan Johnson. There's a guy that was an undrafted free agent. However, he has now earned his second contract. You have paid that man to be a playmaker in your offense. It is inexcusable that you're going for a winning score, potential winning score, and Juwan Johnson fumbles in the middle of the field, doing his best Jared Cook. It is so hard for me to sit here and try to criticize Spencer Rattler because of his win-loss record when the dudes around him that you're paying to be dudes are not. Kelvin Banks had a penalty that brought a big play back. It was the Devon Vele 23-yarder that would have put you down at the 5-yard line. Called back because of Kelvin Banks holding. You got behind the sticks because of a false start on your center, Eric McCoy, who's a great player, but these are the types of plays that guys you are counting on that you have paid to be impact players on your team are not making, and that's crushing. We talked about it leading up to the draft. One of the biggest needs they had was to go get a playmaking, impact, big-bodied wide receiver. They didn't do it, and you're feeling that right now because you don't have guys that can elevate your young quarterback. The other thing is defensively. The early struggles have been awful. Here's Ellen Moore after the game talking about the early struggles.
You know, we're not starting fast enough from a defense perspective, and we got to play better. We got to have a sense of urgency to get out there and get ready to roll. You know, that's a couple weeks in a row in that scenario, and so that's not the formula we want, to be feeling like we're playing behind for a little while. And so, again, we got to take advantage of opportunities, and they come in all 4 quarters, and every moment is the same value from the first quarter all the way through the fourth quarter. Do you realize
this is 4 consecutive games? 4 consecutive games where the New Orleans Saints defense has allowed its opponent to score touchdowns on each of its first 2 drives? Seattle, Buffalo, the Giants, and New England. 4 straight games you've allowed your opponent to get in the end zone on their first 2 drives. And your offense, which is void of playmakers, is now having to dig itself out of this hole that your defense puts it in early. Inexcusable. Defense has got to be able to get stops early. Offense has got to be able to finish drives, which is another issue. You settled for a 34 and a 38-yard field goal in this ballgame. When you get into the red zone, you've got to be able to score touchdowns, and this team is not very good at doing it. Now, in fairness, number 1, hat tip to Blake Grupe, because we've crushed him, deservedly so. 10 of his first 15 this season, he missed 5 kicks in 5 games. That's awful. He was 4 for 4. Made a couple from 50-plus. Good. I hope that continues. And defensively, after allowing 22 points in the first half, you allowed only 3 in the second half. So the defense did find a way to get stops in the second half. That was fine to see. You got to be better early in the game so your offense isn't playing from behind so much and the terms are being dictated to you throughout the course of the game. One more thing I hated to see were the young defensive backs struggle. The 3 lowest graded players on the entire team from Pro Football Focus, the 3 lowest graded players on the entire team, Quincy Riley, Jonas Sanker, Kool-Aid McKinstry. Your 3 young defensive backs were the 3 lowest graded players for the entire game. And I've pretty consistently said that I'm not so much concerned with wins and losses this year. I know what this season is, what this team is, and what they're going to be. So I'm not going to sit here and yell about the Saints losing games. What I will yell about expensive veteran players like Chris Olave grabbing the throat and continuing to underperform their contract. I will be disappointed in young players that you use draft capital on that you're hoping can become cornerstones of the franchise not playing well. Sanker got burned deep. When you're a free safety, the one thing you can't let happen is a guy get behind you. 53-yard touchdown on the first possession of the game. They hit another 60-yarder in the game. They got called back because of a bogus penalty. But anyway, they had 2 gigantic pass plays called back because of bogus penalties. Quincy Riley was brutal, and Kool-Aid McKinstry continues to be brutal. And I know they gave him NFC Defensive Player of the Week last week, and I wonder if anybody watched the game. So he caught 2 punts that went as interceptions. So you give him Defensive Player of the Week. Did you watch his PI? Did you watch him get burned? Did you watch him get a big boy in the end zone by the tight end from the Giants? Like, he ain't a good player right now. He is certainly, like Chris Olave, not a number 1. Kool-Aid is not a number 1 corner. He cannot handle an opponent's number 1 receiver. He cannot handle Stephon Diggs yesterday. He might be a good nickel today in the NFL, and he can improve. But as of right now, very disappointing by the young defensive backs that got taken to school by a second-year player in Drake May, who's a first-year starter. Well, he started, I guess, a little bit at the end of last year. A veteran in Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte, who's trying to find his way professionally, and a non-existent running game from New England. And your secondary couldn't do a thing with him. Very disappointing yesterday. So the Saints are 1-5. They hit the road to take on the Bears. The Bears will be on a short week. They play tonight on Monday Night Football. See if the Saints can start faster defensively, finish some drives. Maybe can somebody make a freaking play. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.